I'm Dr. Jessica Han. In this section, I'm going to talk about the ecology, focus on population ecology. Population ecology is a study of changes in a population. Population ecology is concerned with factors that affect population size, growth, and density. What is a population? Population is a group of members of the same species living in an ecosystem at the same time. The age structure within the population reflects the number of individuals in different age groups. By comparing the age structures of different populations, we can provide insights into social conditions and social works. The figure here shows the age structure of United States and Ethiopia. United States has relatively large amount of elderly compared to the Ethiopia, but Ethiopia has relatively larger amount of young people in comparison to United States. Therefore, United States should have a higher need for elderly care. Ethiopia should have a higher need for high schools and employment. All populations have a survivalship curves. A survivalship is the chance that an individual member of a given population will live to a particular age. In humans, the number of survivors will decrease when we're getting older. It's similar to other type of animals, but the curve will be different. In human, the decrease of survivalship is curved, but in other animals, it could be linear. Some species may produce huge numbers of offspring, but only few of them can survive through the adulthood. For example, this fish. There are many young fish, but not many of them can stay their full lifespans. When we look at a population, we need to take consideration into population density and dispersion. Population density is the number of members of a species per unit area or volume of the habitat. Dispersion patterns are the way individuals are spaced within a habitat. Here, all these fish are clumped. Here, the penguins are uniform. And here are the random flowers dispersed within the area. So different type of species will have their own way to stay within a particular ecosystem. They can be either spread out or evenly spaced, or they can be clustered together. All populations follow their growth models. Growth models is the size of a population changes over time. Population size can be constant or change dramatically. Ecologists have developed idealized models to help us better understand the changes in population size. The first model is the exponential growth model. Exponential growth is the population size of each new generation is a multiple of previous generation. This kind of growth model occurs when there are unlimited resources and a nearly vacant environment. This condition is very important. Only when the resources are unlimited and sufficient, the population can double or triple or multiple for many times compared to the previous generation. Exponential growth may occur after disturbance such as fire, where most of life was wiped out, then has a chance to rebound. This type of growth is not sustainable. This type of growth is not sustainable in a natural environment. Here is an example of exponential growth. Along the time, the x-axis is time, the y-axis is the population size. Start from many years ago or long time ago, along the time, the population will grow. At beginning, it grows slowly. Then at a certain time, they are start to multiple quickly. As long as the resources don't run out, the growth can reach to a tremendous rate. In the real world, the populations do not have unlimited resources. There are limiting factors. Those limiting factors come from the environment. Those environmental constraints can put a cap on the size of a population. In any ecosystem, there's a carrying capacity. Carrying capacity is the maximum population size that can survive in that particular environment. In the real world, the population will grow follow a logistic model. Because of the limiting factors, those limiting factors can come from predators, diseases, food shortages, or weathers. So over time, what do you expect will happen to population size? The answer is over time, the population size will be capped and reach to a plateau. That plateau is the carrying capacity for that environment. This graph shows the logistic growth model. At first, when the population size is low, the growth rate is nearly exponential. There is a period of time the growth rate increases as a J-shaped, just as the exponential growth. This time point here is an idealized logistic growth model results in an S-shaped population curve, and the growth rate here is quite linear. However, over time, the growth rate will decreases as the population size approaches to the carrying capacity for that particular environment. So you can see it start to be curved. At the end, when the population has reached to its carrying capacity, the growth rate is zero and the population size stays constant. There are different types of limiting factors. Some factors are density dependent, some factors are density independent. The density dependent factors are those factors can influence by population density, for example, competition or diseases. The density independent factors are unrelated to population density, for example, the environmental disturbance, weather, fire, or other type of things. Unlike nearly every natural population, humans have demonstrated exponential growth, especially over the last 250 years. So currently, human population are still at the exponential growth rate. This is the predict model for human population growth. By the end of 2050, our growth rate will slow down, but we can still grow without problem. As we mentioned earlier, the age structure can reflect a population size, and it can provide insights to the proper social works need to be done to best serve that population. So here's a figure of human population from back in 1985. We have a relatively large portion of young and middle-aged people. Over time, we have an increased number of elderly. This age structure graph will give ecologists and human workers some idea for what need to be done to maintain the human population growth and how to take care of the needs of different age groups. As you can see, the age structure projected by 2035, we have quite a large proportion of elderly who will need elderly cares to be built in the future. We also have a quite large proportion of people at a young or middle age that reflects the need for employment. In summary, we have talked about the population ecology in this section and the population growth model and the specific example of human population and age structure. Hope this section is helpful to you.